Hey, this is Dirk from SOILWORK and you're geeking out to Gear Gods. What's up everybody? This is Dirk from SOILWORK and this is Bruiser. And yeah, I'm here to talk a little bit about our new 10th album, the Ride Majestic. It's gonna come out on August 28th and we're very, very happy about it. I think it's a nice continuation musically of what we did on our previous album, The Living Infinite, and at the same time adding some new angles and some new ideas. It was an interesting album to make because we faced quite some personal things throughout the recording, mainly unfortunately people passing away that were close to several band members, and so that definitely had an impact on the music and the lyrics of the album, which is basically a collection of songs about life and death, to sum it up really briefly, but there's a lot of different angles in there. And so the music has that really kind of epic and majestic feel to it, hence the song title and the album title. And yeah, so we can't wait for people to hear it and to share it with everybody, and really super stoked about it. And Bruiser's out. So we recorded the Ride Majestic over a period of about 5 months. It was all recorded in Sweden at Fascination Street Studio in Stockholm, and partly at a little studio in Landskrona where Bjorn produced and recorded his own vocals. So initially we weren't supposed to be in the studio for that long, but because of the things that happened to several people while we were recording, it took a lot longer. It got kind of stretched out, and but in the end, you know, it was a really good process. The producer was David Castillo, who's worked with bands like Opeth and Catatonia and Bloodbath. And the album was mixed and mastered by Jens Bogren, who we worked with on The Living Infinite and also on the Panic broadcast. So it was a great team to work with. We were really trying to get a clean, natural sound, pretty raw, maybe a little bit less produced than the previous albums. Because we just wanted it to have a bit of a live feel to it. For me personally, it was a more relaxed recording process than The Living Infinite because it was less songs, and so that gave me time to really focus on complete takes, which was a lot of fun from my perspective. It's a lot more fun to play the song the whole way through and kind of get a feel for things that way and experiment, and then choose the best take after that. And so yeah, that's how I proceeded, and had a lot of fun doing that actually. Yeah, I tried to do full takes for as many songs as I could. There were probably a couple of songs where I did them in sections just for time purposes, and also because there were some really exhausting songs on there. But yeah, most of the songs I would say, you know, probably with the exception of a couple, most of the songs were full takes. And you know, I wasn't able to do that at all on The Living Infinite because I had to do that many songs, like 26 songs in 8 days for that one. So there was just no time to do it in any other way than section by section. And as effective as that is, you know, it's a lot more fun to play the whole song. It gives more of a live feeling for sure. So during this recording, I used a Tama Star Classic maple kit, if I remember it correctly, or it might have been a Birch Bubinga, I'm not sure, but it was a Tama Star Classic for sure. And I used the kit that they had in the studio, and actually the big difference for me this time around was that I used 2 kicks. I haven't done that since I was probably 16 years old when I really first started out, and I switched to double pedal and kind of never looked back. And in the studio they had 2 kicks, and I had talked with Satir of Satyricon about, you know, drum sounds and stuff, since he's very involved with producing their albums, and he said you should try 2 kicks because if you tune them kind of differently, it can really add a nice dimension to the whole thing. And I had never really thought about that, so I was like, why not try? There's 2 kicks here, and so I ended up doing it that way, and I think it sounds really great. For cymbals, I used a whole wide range of Meinl cymbals. I love switching things up from song to song, so a lot of the standard stuff I use is MB20 and Bisons, but then, you know, I'll add different things in, Generation X cymbals, and just kind of whatever I feel the song requires. I also used a bunch of different Tama snare drums as well. And then all my hardware is, of course, Tama, my sticks as well. I have the Tama signature sticks. And then I use Evans drum heads, so in the studio it's kind of common for me to use thinner heads than live. since you really want that warm sound, and especially on the toms, you really want that sound to come through. So I use G1s and G2s mostly. And then I have the DB drum shoes. I don't know if I can show them to you. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the gear goes. So whenever I'm not busy with soil work, I do a lot of session recordings. I love working with different musicians and different bands. I have my studio set up here, so people can always reach out to me and get a quote to see if they want me to record some drums for maybe a song or an EP or an album, whatever they want. I can always work things out. There's always some time in between tours and recordings for me to do that, and I love doing that. So you can reach me through dirkverbeuren.com and also through a new website called Metal for Hire, which is a really great concept that has a lot of different people on there that you can reach out to about working together with them, not just drummers, but musicians, photographers, artists, you name it. So a great meeting place. And I also do drum lessons. I do them in different ways, Skype, in person if you're local, or if you can be around on a day when SOILWORK is playing a gig in your town. I'll try and do drum lessons on those days as well. So again, you can reach me through my site for that. And since last year, I've been doing instructional videos, which are called Dirk Blasts, and you can sign up for those again at dirkverbeuren.com. You can read all about them there, so I won't go into too much detail here, but if you want to learn drums with me, reach out and we'll make it happen. All right, so if you are a musician or a drummer, or beginner or intermediate or whatever level you're at, here's some advice for you. The biggest thing I've actually learned throughout the years, I've been doing this for well over 20 years now, is that really perseverance pays off. So that's as much for drumming or music itself as for the career part of it as well. So I think it's really important, especially nowadays, to learn as much as you can about the music business, all the different aspects that are involved, because the more you know, the easier it's going to be to kind of navigate those very tricky waters and find a way to make a living out of this, possibly. So for me, I'm very involved with the business of soil work, all kinds of aspects. I run my own website. I'm pretty active, or I try to be active on social media. I do drum lessons, recordings, etc. And all that is needed for me to be able to keep doing this. So it's been a long learning process, and you always learn new things. So just have an open mind. And when it comes to drumming, same thing. If you really want to do something, you can do it. You just have to practice and spend the time doing it. I think for me, I always wanted to be one of the best. I was never satisfied, and I still am never satisfied with the end result. So it's always a quest of becoming better and making my technique better and my ideas, and expanding my vocabulary and opening up to new styles of music. So if you have that kind of perspective on things and you stay focused, then you can really get places. I mean, I grew up in France, which isn't exactly a very metal country. And somehow, I managed to make a career out of this anyway. And back in the day, I didn't even believe that it could possibly happen. But I think really in the end, my hard work paid off. So I think that's really the most important thing if you want to make it. So check out the Ride Majestic when it comes out August 28th. And you can catch us on the road in the end of the year. We're doing a North American run with Soulfly, Decapitated, and Shattered Sun, which is going to be starting late September all the way to early November. And right after that, we're headed to Europe for a headlining run there with Hatesphere as direct support. So that'll be a cool tour as well. And you'll definitely see us again in 2016, since we will probably spend most of that year on the road.